opportunity today to share with all of you how God met with me. So to give some background, I grew up in a Christian. I grew up in a Christian home, and all my life I've gone to Sunday service every week, and I remember telling my parents that Sundays don't quite feel like Sundays without church. But for most of my life, church was just that. It was a routine in the week, something to be checked off the list before my week could begin on Monday. And but despite of that, some reason I always believed that God was real, that Jesus was our Savior. But I never experienced or believed that God was a personal God, one that would care about the little things in life, or like what I did every day or what I said. And my mom would always ask me if I wanted to get baptized. She asked me a lot, and I always had some reason. Growing up in the church, I feel like I had all these excuses, but really in the back of my head, I could always hear this voice that was saying, you're not ready, you're not good enough, you don't deserve it. And outside of that, there was always this feeling in me that, how do I phrase this? I guess like I wanted a guilt-free, carefree life. Even though all my friends saw me as Christian, I thought to myself that I didn't get baptized, I didn't have to feel bad about all the terrible things I did. And so it always held me back. But despite of that, for some reason, when I came to college, I decided to explore more of my faith. And so I came to GCC because my brother came here. And also because it's in Meyerson, and it's just like a walk away from my dorm room. First semester in college, a lot of new things. Like classes were harder. It was hard to manage church, friendships, relationships, but it was difficult, but I could still do it. And in the end of the semester, I finished off relatively well. But when I came back from winter break, that's when things kind of started to snowball. On my first day back from break, my girlfriend of 2 years and I broke up. And even though I didn't really show it that much, it hit me pretty hard. And that coupled with harder classes, the difficulty of managing all my friendships that were away from college and the new ones I had found here, for the first time in my life, things just started to feel like I couldn't handle it on my own. And so as schoolwork picked up, my first thought was to just perhaps cut back on church. And so I guess it wasn't a very intentional thought, but slowly I started skipping once in a while Sunday service or FNL. And really all the time I just thought to myself, I could barely have time to do my schoolwork. How can I have time to come to church? How can I have time to just, spend 2 hours or 1 hour on a Friday or Sunday at church? And it just seemed kind of unreasonable to me. I don't know how I got there, but by the time Passion Week rolled around last year, I probably hit the lowest point of my spiritual, physical, and emotional life. I guess, so I don't know, I guess many of you know that this past week we've had 3 services, one on Thursday, one on Friday, and one on Sunday, today. The thought of having to go to 3 services during the week seemed, it was just unbelievable to me. I couldn't imagine putting aside that much time. And certainly I wasn't going to come to the Thursday service, and perhaps only the Friday. And maybe, and Sunday, okay, but, the week before Passion Week, I sat in my brother's room, and, I just shared that with him. I was like, I'm not going to go. Definitely not there. Exactly what I just told you guys. And, my brother just offhandedly says that he's gone to every service every year. And my whole life, I've always looked up to him. So when he said that, the thought that goes through my head is, yeah, all right, I'll go too. And so when Thursday rolled around, I went to service, though really bitter and really not wanting to be there. But that night, Pastor Young spoke about the passage how Peter denied Christ 3 times. And every other time I've heard this passage, I've heard it a dozen times growing up in the church, pretty much every Easter. And the thought that always goes through my head is, man, Peter's such a noob. You know, he knows that Jesus is his Savior. He knows that he's the Son of God, but he still sits there and denies him 3 times. But on that night, I know this sounds kind of weird, but I heard God say to me, "You're a noob too." For all that everyone saw me as Christian, for all that I knew that Jesus was our Savior, that he is the Son of God, all I did my whole life was deny him. All I did my whole life was run away. And that night, at a place I didn't want to be, at a time that I wasn't planning to be there, God met with me. He opened my eyes to his love, to his grace. And that night I accepted Christ. And so I'd like to share with everyone a passage that's really spoken to me. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it. And it's a passage that speaks about love, about God's love for us, a perfect love. It's 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8. It says, "Love is patient, love is kind, does not envy, does not boast, is not proud, does not dishonor others, is not self-seeking, is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails." And I guess a lot of you probably have heard this because it's commonly known as the wedding verse. And I'm not getting married today. But I thought about it, and what's a wedding but a public profession of love? And so today I stand before you. I want to publicly proclaim my love for God. But not for anything, not for any of my own strength or my own doing, but because I only love because he loved us first. Because when I said earlier that I'd never encountered a personal God, I was wrong. Or I wasn't wrong that, but I was wrong that he wasn't a personal God. Our God is a God that cares, one that loves, one that was patient and persevered and pursued me for 18 and a half years when all I did was deny him. Yeah. Ever since I met God, a lot of things have changed, but some things haven't. I still come to Sunday service every week, and Sundays still don't feel like Sundays without church. But Sundays are now the start of my week, a new start. Thank you.